Hi, I'm Mia Togo, and welcome back to the Processing Playground. I'm really excited to talk to you today about rinsing. Rinsing has been something that's very important in my life and has made a huge difference in terms of not getting stuck in the past, not worrying about the future. And it's a tool that I use when my mind or my triggers come up. And if you're human, which most of us who are watching this, probably all of us who are watching this are, triggers are something that happen. And when we have a trigger, it just means that we've something from the past is being pulled up that we haven't seen or we've overlooked. And so we're not in present time. We're responding to a present situation, but a past wound or something in our thoughts and our feelings, our memories that we haven't fully healed or come to terms with is pulling up. And so if we don't get clear on how that's coming up, we'll keep repeating a lot of the same past reactions over and over and wondering why this keeps happening, and we're creating the same situations or drawing kind of the same partner or having the same thing, maybe a money issue, keep repeating itself because something has gotten out of balance and we haven't seen it. We become blind to it. And in that blindness, it's really hard to see a path forward. So rinsing is a tool that you can use to clear out, so it clears our vision, it clears the energy that we're holding, and we feel more just connected. So when I say rinse, we can do a physical rinse and we can do a writing rinse. A physical rinse means that you can take a pillow, you can scream into it, or you can actually use like a little wiffle bat on a pillow and hit it. And when you hit it, it's just a way to release sometimes that energy that gets pent up. And I call them voices, I call my gremlins, that can be really destructive and sabotaging. And we don't want to shut them down. There's usually some wisdom. It just means something's out of balance. So if you're able to physically hit something and say, I'm so mad, I'm so angry, I'm so upset, I'm so sad, this reminds me of, it allows us to time travel into where the original hurt began. And really all it needs is airtime, to be understood, to be felt, to get the energy that's stuck to move through. And another way to rinse is to write. And a writing technique that I find very helpful is if there's something or someone that's triggered you, look at what it is and get the blame voice out, not on the person, but on a piece of paper. This is a skill set so that we don't go out and react and just create more of the same. So you can write, when I look at you, I see, and when I look at you, I feel. And then after you sit with that, turn it around and flip it and say, when I look at me, whatever you wrote is all about me. And when I look at me, I feel. And it's through that process of when we get to see and feel ourselves, then whoever has brought that to the surface is our teacher. And so instead of lashing out and blaming them, we need to rinse it because, yeah, it has a little bit of a residue. And then once we rinse it, then we can go to owning it. And the steps to owning are, you want to admit, like first admit, in a lot of relationships I hear this, he did this to me and she did that to me. And then there's the admitting, like, okay, I see that. But there's more to than admitting. You want to go to understand your part and understand their part. Like that's number 2, right? And then from there, you want to be able to depersonalize. People are coming from their own perspective. So when you depersonalize, you see it from your perspective and you step out and you're able to see it from there so that if we don't personalize, we cut the psychic bond and it breaks the bondage so that we can clearly, I can own me and you can own you. And then after that, we empathize. And empathize means I feel me while you feel you. I do not need to feel for you. That's sympathy. Or you do not need to feel for me. I trust that you will do your work because I trust. It's building self-trust. And then after that, we want to set a prevention. So if you see yourself falling into that pattern, you're like, I've gone through these steps. The prevention is, next time this happens, I'm going to take a different action. And even set up, fantasize, look forward, make up, get creative. I'm going to act differently. How? Think of a few ways. And then celebrate. And celebrate means, have fun with it. Enjoy that you have caught this, that you have been able to change it. Because changing patterns is not always easy. It takes focus, it takes work, it takes a devotion to really catching these things. But when we do, we clear up and feel so much more focused and connected how we're engaging in life. And that's the idea, is we don't want to escape our lives. And if we don't rinse and we hold this energy down in the subconscious and we don't clear it, we can really feel like we're not, like kind of circling around and not landed. But when we clear that, we can really engage. And it's a skill set that takes time. And I have found this really helpful, the rinsing and the owning, especially in relationships, because ultimately it's liberating. So if someone has an upset with you, instead of fighting and go, oh, well, I don't do that, if it's true, like just 20% of the time, then it's true. And the more that we get out of the judgment and go, oh, this person, this situation is my teacher, let me find my end, let me own it, then we don't have to live in defense. We don't have to live in survival. We live in really owning our presence, our truth, so that we can move forward and not feel like we're in the rinse cycle and repeating the same thing over and over again. And that's the idea. The rinsing helps us release, let go, so that we can truly move forward. So I hope you find this helpful. I found it so helpful in my life. And it's a process. It takes time, it takes skill, it takes, being willing to just show up. But it's not about perfection. It's just getting in the playground, rolling around, doing the work so that you can just enjoy and have fun in your life. So hope to see you next time on the playground. Thank you for joining me.